Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
Broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I am all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and as always, I am your host. Ho 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 Ho. So how in the heck is everybody? So, oh yeah, by the way, welcome everybody. Welcome Spreaker. Welcome Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook. How y'all's doing? I hope you guys are doing good. This has been it's been one of them weeks. It has been one of them weeks. I'll tell you what, guys, I've been going back and forth on how I wanted to do this, how I wanted to proceed, how I wanted to talk about it, how many clips I wanted to throw in here, how many sound bites, how much did I really want to give you guys? And pretty much the conclusion I came to was I wanted to not really do any of that, because I'm working on the assumption that most people know. Most people have watched the videos, those that are interested, those that want to have something, or were interested in watching them. I'm working on the assumption that y'all have pretty well seen. You guys have seen the clips. You guys have seen all of that. So I'm really not going to include any of that today. There is one clip I am going to that I am going to play for you guys, more or less because of what it means. The implications behind it. So that is a clip that I am going to play, but otherwise I'm not really going to. Now, I am going to have them available. They will be available on thehohoshow.com. If you go into the news feed section, there will be a Flipboard magazine that will be there that will have all kinds of articles in there that I am pulled from. And one of them in particular I do recommend viewing, and that's the one from Politico. Actually, it is a very complete. I mean, it's got, the whole entire thing. It's got several clips in there. So I recommend definitely taking a look at that one if you guys are interested in watching all of it. Otherwise, it's all over the place on YouTube and everywhere else, I'm sure. And I'm also a fan of the Samuel L. Jackson version of it. That was pretty funny. I had to laugh. But so I had a lot of time that I was thinking about this, and I'm going to give you guys a warning. Consider this your public service announcement. If you are a liberal, if you are on the left, if you Democrat, this isn't the show for you. If you don't like opposing views, if you don't like to be challenged with facts, then this isn't the show for you. You might want to go somewhere else. Go to your safe space because you will be triggered. You will be a victim of microaggressions, and I do not apologize. I'm coming at you with facts. I'm coming at you with evidence. And I don't care about your emotions because they are invalid. I could care less. Your emotions have no place in a legal proceeding. And this might as well have been, or at least it should have been. So before we go any further, I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys ponder that. Think about that. And I'm going to give you guys a place to go, or a time to go. So just a quick minute, and I'll wait for you guys to leave. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Ho Ho Show. All right, well, I am joined in studio today by Mr. Ray. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, there you go. Try speaking now.
Hi.
There we
How you
go.
doing?
You know, it really, really helps to unmute the mic and not to be hiding behind your microphone.
Yeah. Can you see me?
Half your face. There you go. I can see you. You're good to go. All right, and I am also joined by Roger. How you doing, Roger?
How's everybody doing out there tonight?
And Roger, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this as part of the introduction for you. So you just started a new show.
I did.
Yesterday called the Roho Show.
I'm thinking about changing the name to the Copyright Infringement Show.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, we kind of figured.
we figured we'd get a hit or two.
Yeah. But, you know, we are working on changing that. We are, you know, with Weaponized Sloth Productions, we're going to be getting a licensing thingy-jigger for whatchamacallit, and we'll have that. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Hey, you can see me. Look at there.
I played an excessive amount of music probably last night, and that's not going to be the format permanently, but it's going to be a good deal.
Right. And I tell you what, man, I was listening to the show, and you know, how you did the whole thing, how you know, mixed together the talk with the, you know, with the music as well, and how you did the segues of going right into the music. I mean, that was artful, man. That was, dude, I have not heard DJs do it. Like professional DJs not do it as good as you did.
Well, and they don't do it as much anymore anyway. I mean,
right.
as you know, I worked at TJY here in town whenever I was younger. I was a weekender there. I used to work with Sean Balint. He went by the name of Doc Rock back then. Sean's a good friend of mine.
Sean Balint.
But we had the Doc Rock show, and we was on Friday and Saturday nights, and that's when the studio was up here at the square.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
We could watch the traffic circle the square, and people'd be stopping and you know, flipping us off and all that good stuff. It was a good time, and I miss that. I really do. And I don't know if there's a place for it audience-wise as much as there is in actual over-air radio, but I think we can draw some people in.
Oh, I think you're right. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, as you know, there are podcasters out there that do, you know, that they're doing the music aspect of it. You know, I can't say as if they're doing it the right and legal way, but you know, most of them are just playing a song. I mean, they're not doing a blend of you know, playing music and a talk show within that. You know, I mean, that's something, I mean, that's like borderline, you know, morning show type stuff. You know?
And I tried to keep the music relevant to the subject matter we were talking about in the talk portions. It's not always possible, and some of the songs I just played because they were good songs, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a finger I was holding up for myself, not for you. I apologize.
Oh, I thought you was telling me to wait a minute.
No, not at all. I was telling myself, dummy, you forgot something.
I know sign language.
He does that to me too, but it's not that finger.
Oh, you getting the chat up?
Yeah, because
Gotcha.
Was that the right button? I think it was the right button.
You and all your cool toys.
I love my cool toys.
I do. I love your cool
There
toys.
it is. There we go. Now we got the chat window up and going. I apologize about that, guys. For those of you that are in chat,
He dropped the ball.
I guess I
He dropped
did.
the ball.
I did. I dropped the ball.
He dropped the ball.
And I also
okay.
don't even have Facebook up right now. So why do I have two windows? There we go. So we go ahead and pull Facebook up. For some reason, I wasn't able to pull it up off my phone, and I don't know why. So for those of you that are in Facebook, I apologize. Give me a second, and I will be right in there.
It's Saturday, man.
It is. It's Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, you think I'd be on the ball. Off my phone, and I don't know why. Holy so crap. For those of you that are in Facebook,
Mute
shut
that.
up.
Mute that.
There
Mute
we go.
that.
We're muted. All right. So hello, everybody there in Facebook land. Hello, the Sneeds. Oh, Sherry jumped in there too. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Who else I got in here? Let me go ahead and scroll a little bit. Mr. Howard. And hello, Elizabeth. How are you doing? So, yeah, welcome everybody. And some Blandfords in there. Awesome, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right. So, he good at dropping balls. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Howard. Yes, I mean, you know, I did. I didn't bring any of the chat. And hello over there in YouTube land. I have no idea what name that says. That looks like to be
Japanese or Chinese?
Japanese or
Korean?
Chinese or something. I'm not even sure. And Sneed, you shush your mouth with that stuff. I don't want to hear anything about that stinking song. So, but yeah, so this is going to be one of them shows. I mean, I tell you what, guys, that, whenever I was watching, and, I'm over-the-road truck driver, I was up in Canada for the entire thing, and I was doing deliveries and whatnot. So there was a lot on Thursday that I didn't get. Watching from the beach in Gulf Shores. Awesome.
Nice.
Very,
Wow.
very cool.
Wee bit jealous.
Oh, I am definitely jealous of you. Hey, are you guys going to be back in town for Chili Fest next week?
I hope so.
I do too. So, but yeah, while that answer comes around, but yeah, so I mean, I spent a lot of time on Thursday. I was working, I was doing delivery, so there was a lot that I missed on it. But I tell you what, man, I was fuming, just absolutely fuming over some of the stuff that I seen, and I mean that was cool. They will be back for Chili Fest. And Chili Fest, for those of you that do not know, because I do have listeners from other countries and several different states, like 8, 9, 10 countries and 13, 14, however many states. I don't even know. I lost track. I'm actually kind of surprised some of my Spreaker people aren't in there yet, which, hey, it's Saturday. It happens. Holler over there in... Oh, it means master poster. All right, awesome. Zoo... Hybo? It means master poster. Okay, awesome. Welcome.
Chili Fest is pretty awesome. I have to say.
Good.
It's a good time.
Good job on getting me back on
I'm
track.
going to bring you back where we're going here.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I need that little zzz.
We have a booth there, as you know. Our buddy Brandon has a booth there typically.
Yeah.
My band is actually playing there at 2 p.m. on Sunday this year.
Really?
We
Awesome,
are closing
awesome.
Chili Fest as far as the bands are concerned this year. So
I'll be there early helping set up.
Awesome. I'll be there at
It'll be a
some
good
point in time.
But yeah, we have lots of chili there. That's why they call it Chili Fest.
absolutely, and it's good chili. Just the chili from the regular chili tent up on the grass. I don't really mess with the competition chilies too much, but just the I guess commercial chili that they're selling out of the main tent's really good. And from what I hear, my daughter is going to be selling cornbread at her bake sale. So cornbread and chili. I don't know if you've ever had it, but it's amazing.
No, it sounds good.
Just to kind of okay. So Zoo Hybo actually is how he said you pronounce that, and Pat is in Facebook chat, and he's rockaholic.
That is my lead singer, absolutely.
Yes,
Rockaholic
Pat's
will be
awesome.
doing their thing at 2 p.m. on Sunday, 2 p.m. or thereabouts. From what I hear, the band transitions there are a little strange. They give you 2 hours to play, then you tear your stuff down. The next band sets up. They give them 2 hours to play. I'm not sure what time the band before us gets done. So if they get done at 2, we won't be starting at 2. We'll have to start at 2:30, 3 o'clock once we get everything set up.
Right, that's awesome, man. And tell you what, I've heard you guys perform. I've sat in on a couple practices, and you guys got an awesome sound to you. I love rock and roll anyway. I'm child of the era. So I love the music you guys play. You guys do a great job. Got a good sound to you. It's awesome stuff, and Pat does a great job.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good time.
I heard him sing. I was like, dude, he can sing.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a beast.
So,
and his daughter, Beth, phenomenal singer.
She's got a great voice. She does. She does a good job.
And on that note, talking about Beth, no more cancer. She beat it.
Rock on, dude. That's awesome. Congratulations to her.
Big deal there.
Yeah, that's
She had a
huge.
little
That's
melanoma,
huge.
a little skin cancer going on. They cut it out. They checked her lymph nodes, and she's clean. So
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
For sure.
So, well, should we get into it?
Yeah, we're going to have to.
We've been procrastinating long enough, and trying to be happy-go-lucky, but and I tell you what. So how? Let's see. I kind of know what your response is going to be, but where should I go about on this? Should I start off with the Lindsey Graham. Should I kind of start off with that direction?
Let's do it. He
Let's
impressed
do it.
me this week.
He did, and as I said to you guys off air, that I was also very impressed with somebody else, somebody whom I never thought I would say the words "I'm impressed with him," and that is Dick Durbin,
Dick.
because he is the only one on the Democrat side that actually asked a question instead of just praising her for her bravery and coming forth and, participating in this, circus of what it was. But he's the only one who actually asked a question and was trying to get an answer from her. He's the only one out of all of them, the only one that did that. So I was, I was a little shocked on that. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I was definitely shocked. So I am currently going into
Yoo-hoo. That's
You want me
good.
to go get you a Yoo-hoo?
That's a good
I'm going to
drink.
get me a Yoo-hoo. That is a good drink, actually. So I'm currently going into YouTube.
We're not sponsored by Yoo-hoo.
We are not sponsored by Yoo-hoo at all, but it is a very, very good drink. Very phenomenal, by the way. And there was actually another one that I was trying to get audio, but I wasn't able to actually do it. But let's go ahead and watch this. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Are you aware that at 9:23 on the night of July the 9th, the day you were nominated to the Supreme Court by President Trump, Senator Schumer said, 23 minutes after your nomination, "I will oppose Judge Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have. I have a bipartisan, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same. The stakes are simply too high for anything less." Well, if you weren't aware of it, you are now. Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
I did meet with Senator Feinstein.
Did you know that her staff had already recommended a lawyer to Dr. Ford?
I did not know that.
Did you know that her and her staff had this allegations for over 20 days?
I did not know that at the time.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsay said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham, that you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job interview.
You consider that you've been through a job interview?
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution. Which
would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview.
Yeah.
This is hell. This is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. It's been my understanding.
Don't work that way.
That if you drug women and rape them for 2 years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it, like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned. He is the very circumspect in his personal conduct, harbors no biases or prejudices. He's entirely ethical, is a really decent person. He is warm, friendly, unassuming. He's the nicest person. The ABA. The one thing I can tell you, you should be proud of. Ashley, you should be proud of this, that you raised a daughter who had the good character to pray for Dr. Ford. To my Republican colleagues, if you vote no, you're legitimizing the most despicable thing I have seen in my time in politics. You want this seat? I hope you never get it. I hope you're on the Supreme Court. That's exactly where you should be. And I hope that the American people will see through this charade. And I wish you well, and I intend to vote for you, and I hope everybody who's fair-minded will.
There you go, guys.
It's got a very strong tinge of 1690s Salem, Massachusetts to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zooey, sorry, I had a cough there for a second. Sorry. Zoo Hybo put in here, he's, isn't that exactly what the Republicans did in 2015? And he said,
They're talking about Anita Hill?
I'm assuming, I believe so, at any rate. Or Garland. He puts Garland in here. Except even worse because Garland didn't have sexual assault allegations posed against him, and McConnell simply never gave a vote.
No, Anita Hill was earlier than that. Anita Hill
was earlier than that.
Put out claims that Clarence Thomas sexually harassed her while they worked together at the education department or something along that line, and then he left, and she followed him to the next job after he had already sexually harassed. But at the end of the day, Clarence Thomas was appointed to the Supreme Court.
Now, Garland, where he's getting at is the Republicans, I think, let that be delayed till past the election.
And that's what the Dems are looking for.
Right. But the difference is when the Republicans did that, they made no bones about it. That's what they were doing. You know, it wasn't, they didn't put him in front of a committee, accuse him of.
It wasn't this backbiting bullcrap that we got going on now. It was sneaky.
They didn't destroy his his reputation. They didn't destroy his family. They didn't, personally attack him. They just made it clear we're delaying this until after the election.
Right.
I'm not saying that was right, but compared to what they're doing to this guy right now, personally, it's night and day to me.
They are tearing Kavanaugh's life apart. I mean, luckily, Ashley's supporting him, his wife. She's behind him 100%. But his professional life is being so tarnished by this because even if he is appointed, this is going to be hanging over his head forever.
Yeah.
And the difference is the Republicans didn't bring forth they didn't do what the Democrats did in order to destroy his life.
Right.
That's the difference, and that's a big difference, okay? I understand what you're saying, but totally different, night and day, because we didn't go and attack him. We didn't attack him whatsoever. We didn't bring – okay, now I'm not even going to say false allegations. We're going to get into that later, but let's continue in with this, and let me go ahead and check Facebook a little bit because it's been a while since I've looked at Facebook. So
it's blatant character assassination.
Oh, yeah,
it's a witch hunt is what it is.
But here's the thing. Like what I said earlier, I don't care about you guys' emotions on this. This is factual based. This is evidence. This is law. Okay? So here's one of the things. Because, all right, let's put it this way. All right, 6 FBI investigations have been done on Kavanaugh already throughout his career.
They're doing the 7th now.
Right.
They're about ready to go and do a 7th. But he was in the White House for 5 years, FBI investigation. 3 of those years he was in the West Wing, flew in Air Force One, with the president. So, investigations. He was a circuit court judge and then appointed to be a judge in D.C., if I'm remembering correctly. So there's 2 more investigations that was done on him, and not to mention with the, with the bar, whenever they were doing their gold standard, whatever that was, I think there was another investigation around that time frame. So, I mean, there's been several FBI investigations that has come back with nothing of anything negative on the guy whatsoever.
Right.
Okay, so there's that. Now let's talk a little bit about Dr. Ford. Now let's just say somebody gets sexually assaulted. What's the first thing you're going to do? I would think that you would want to go to the cops.
Well, in a certain sense, that would probably be the logical thing to do. But
Yeah.
a large number of sexual assaults don't get reported. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am going to discuss that later because I'm going to slide this into the the feminism debate.
But at the same time, someone hears about it eventually,
Exactly.
and in
Yeah.
a lot less than 36 years or whatever it's been.
36 years.
She claims the only person she told about this were a few close friends who they can't seem to find to get
Right.
answers out of, and her therapist. That's protected by doctor-patient confidentiality, so that's not admissible.
Right. But after she talked to her therapist about this, she sent a letter to Dianne Feinstein, and of which case the letters didn't match in substance.
And
there
she
was some
sent
differences.
this letter. Brett was nominated in November of last year.
And then 22
this letter
days
didn't
later-
happen. 22 days later, what?
22 days later is whenever the accusations came forward.
To Feinstein.
Yes.
We didn't hear anything. It didn't go public until September
Exactly.
when it was leaked.
So Feinstein sat on that for all that time.
Right. When something could have been happening and being done, and they could have either confirmed or disproved the claims way before now, and we could be done.
Right.
Yeah, and they could have had an FBI investigation done at that point. But so,
What'd Justin say there, Ho?
they don't even realize how they have affected his decision process towards them. He's human, so it has changed him.
For sure.
Yeah.
They said this dude was so impartial that, more impartial than most people that make it to this court. And that's not going to be true anymore. They are instilling biases into this judge
Oh, absolutely.
by dragging him through this dirt.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, okay, so let's get back into evidence. So she... Oh, let's see. Where should I go first with this? Let's just do. She has 4 witnesses that she wanted to bring forth onto this, and neither one of those witnesses can corroborate her story. When questioned and statements were made under threat of a felony, they none of them would support Dr. Ford's story. None of them. And I'm not going to go so far as to say that I think she's lying. I mean, her emotions seemed real. She seemed like she was assaulted, and she was, she was changed by this. So I mean, I'm not going to say that she was flat lying about this. I think
I do have a few questions about her.
And I really do, but I'm going to get there. But at least at this point in time, I'm going to go as far as to say that I can believe her. I'm fine with that. But and this is also touching base on what Dick Durbin was saying was that, are you sure it was him? Because whenever she first came out with this and telling her story, it was, I don't know where it happened. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how I got back home. And I don't know who it was. And it was only after a meeting with the Democrats did she at least finally settle on it was Kavanaugh,
Right.
and that was it. So... but there you go. So she couldn't, at the original time, she couldn't say who it was at all, And then only after a meeting with the Democrats did she finally at least say that, yes, it was Kavanaugh, I'm sure of it, and, there you go. But she couldn't remember anything,
Like I said on the other show the other night, even if this did happen in the way she's describing it happening, I'm not saying it's okay for guys to do what allegedly happened. It's not.
Right, not at all.
You know my feelings as far as sexual assault and child molesters and all that. I'm not a fan. I think they should just be thrown off bridges. I'll be glad to do it. But 36 years, man.
Exactly.
36 years. Nothing has been brought to light about this subject.
Her best friend at the time said that I only heard about this, whenever she was questioned at least, I only heard about this 2 weeks ago. I had no idea this even happened.
Right.
Or at least I had no idea, this didn't happen. You know.
Well, and now these other accusers are coming forth. And chances are accusers are going to come out of the woodwork because she's getting her 15 minutes of fame. Ford is. Now Ramirez is going to get her 15 minutes because the FBI is now talking to her, the second quote-unquote accuser. It's going to snowball. And in my opinion, the fact that she waited 36 years to bring this to light, it discredits everybody else that's coming up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, and that's the thing. I mean, he, you know, thankfully he could at least account for his whereabouts because he started that diary/calendar 2 years before the alleged incident happened. So thankfully he did have that. Otherwise, he would be up the creek without a paddle, more or less, you know, because it would be resting on his character witnesses, this, that, and the other, as far as his defense goes. But, you know, let's move on to a different direction, at least for now. Let's talk about the polygraph.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here's the bottom line. She's not after justice. Dr. Ford is not after justice. Why do we know that? Because
justice would have happened a long time ago.
Well, not only
starters,
that, but if it was justice, she would be talking to the criminal justice system. She would be talking to cops.
Not the Senate.
Not the Senate. Yeah, you know, you're going to talk to cops. And the cops have not been talked to. They have not been approached by anybody about this alleged crime. Nothing, okay? And based off of that, and here's the thing, there's no evidence. There's no corroborating stories. There's nothing. She can't remember anything. It wouldn't go to trial. There isn't even enough anything to even take it past a grand jury.
Right.
It would not go to trial. There's
no
nothing
way.
here.
The prosecutor that interviewed her during that hearing even said that she wouldn't even bring charges.
How can you?
You know,
Exactly.
The evidence is not there.
Yeah, exactly.
That prosecutor said there's no way.
Okay, so in accordance with our justice system, this is my opinion. If you don't have enough to bring charges against someone, you don't have enough to obstruct a constitutional process.
Right.
Or you shouldn't have.
Exactly.
If there was, and of course there's not going to be evidence 36 years later. That's
right.
That's no. But the other guy that was allegedly in the room, where's he at?
Right.
The other people that were at the party, she can't even remember for sure who was at the party, but where are they at?
Right. And and this is going to the chat room over here. What about the statute of limitations? Now, my understanding is 36 years later, and of course this is also I live in Illinois, that the statute of limitations have long passed. There's nothing legally you can do to him. However, according to what the lawyer was saying, the Republican lawyer that was questioning her,
he could still be charged.
He can still be charged. However, and here's a point: he was 17, she was 15. They were both juveniles.
Right.
Can you really bring him forth, and try them and convict them as an adult?
Right.
Whenever this happened, whenever he was 17 years of age. That I don't know. I mean, this wasn't this wasn't a violent crime. This was sexual assault that didn't go anywhere. There wasn't anything other than groping and pelvic thrusting, and that was it.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I'm sorry to the children.
Right. I'm going to play devil's advocate just for a second because
go ahead.
It is a fact that a lot of women and girls, things happen to them, and they don't tell people. They don't. Whether they're scared of the attacker or scared of repercussions, whatever. Shame's one thing that comes into play.
A big one. Yep.
I'm not gonna discredit her just because a lot of people didn't know or because she didn't go to the authorities.
Right.
My biggest problem with her entire testimony had more to do, she seemed manic. One minute she'd look like she was going to cry. The next minute she was grinning ear to ear, and her mood changed constantly throughout the testimony. I'm not talking about her opening statement. I'm talking about the entire testimony.
But again, I mean, this can easily be explained away by if she did go through a very traumatic experience, and her within this hearing is bringing up those, then I can at least understand being a little manic on that.
She went through a traumatic experience 36 years ago.
Right, but,
I've been through traumatic experiences whenever I was a kid.
And this is me playing devil's advocate the other direction.
I understand. And even similar, and no, man. Unless you're beyond weak, how can something that happened 36 years ago, no.
And also, I'm sorry, too, that she's a doctor.
Absolutely.
She's an educated individual. She is not an idiot. She is not just some, random person off the street. This is a doctor. She has a doctorate.
She is a psychologist, absolutely.
She is a psychologist. You wouldn't have known it from watching the hearing.
No.
I mean, she came across as and I'm sorry to say it, a bumbling buffoon.
Well, she sounded to me like a scared 10-year-old girl.
Right. But again, this isn't an attack on her, because I understand she is going through something that she doesn't, she doesn't want to be there, and she is definitely off her game. She is uncomfortable, and that's obvious, and that's not an attack on her, but, it's still here she is a doctor, something that happened to her 34 years ago. She should be able to be at least in a stable enough place, you would think, but again, this isn't an attack on her. This is simply a, oh, exactly. Like Clockwork put in here, she is a doctor in psychology. She knows how to act. She knows how to play.
She can play that side.
She knows how to play the game, and I'm definitely willing to go. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to play the crowd, and who knows, that might be what she was doing on that. But even so, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, because I don't want to accuse her of being an absolutely evil individual. Which, how else can you look at that if this is a completely fabricated thing? That's evil.
I'm a little torn on the whole thing, because
I am too. I'm very torn about it.
If, in fact, and I have trouble not believing what she says, but if, in fact, she was sexually assaulted, I'll tell you what, let somebody touch one of my daughters. I'll kill you myself and enjoy it. That I don't believe in that. You don't, especially kids, but anyone. It's just not okay.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing too. Amy put in here, you don't forget your attacker. To be fair, you don't tell everyone that you've been molested, your best friend or not. And I understand where you're coming from, but and that's one of them things too. Criminal psychologists has come forward and spoken of this, and they're like, no, if anything, that type of a traumatic situation heightens your awareness, heightens your senses, and the smell of the room that you are in.
Right.
And she can't remember any of that.
But some people do repress emotions and memories when it comes to trauma. Right.
And I'm willing to yield to that point of view. And I'm definitely willing to yield to that point of view. But the polygraph. Let me go into the polygraph. So she did not have a cognitive interview. For anybody that has ever watched any Criminal Minds knows what a cognitive interview is. But so, that's you're put in a relaxed state. You're taken back mentally to the thing, and you're put in a safe place, and it helps you remember and bring back those, buried and repressed memories. That's what they are designed to do. This is scientific. It is a forensic way of questioning somebody whom has been traumatized by something that has happened to them.
Did you say safe place?
Yes, I
did
say safe place.
Well, you think the Democrats would love that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had their puppies there and everything. They were petting it, very, very nice. Good times, That wasn't done. Instead, what the lawyers wanted to do was, let's give her a polygraph.
Which is inadmissible.
Which is inadmissible in court. And now here's the thing, though. She took a polygraph. Now, a polygraph, it's called a polygraph. It's not called a lie detector test. It's called a polygraph. Why is it called a polygraph? Simply put, because it does not detect your lies. All it detects is your physical response to a question. That is it.
And it does
Right.
that with several different physiological elements. That's why it's poly.
Breathing, blood pressure, temperature, a lot of heart rate, a lot of different things get thrown into this. That's why it is a polygraph, not a lie detector test. Now, here's the thing. This was done at a hotel room the day of a relative's funeral. She just got done putting a relative into the ground. And you're going to tell me that she was in an emotional place, an emotional state of mind where she can go through a questionnaire like that? Are you going to tell me that's valid and is going to point anything out? It was reported that she was crying during parts of the questionnaire. That is an invalid test right there. It's invalid. They have to throw that out and do it again because that screws up everything.
We just got a comment that we may want to check because that's a big deal. We've got a listener saying that she was only asked 2 questions, but she said that the polygraph was 4 hours long.
I heard that too.
Really?
I heard that too. Yeah, I heard that. I don't know. I haven't been able to, find that out. But there are pictures out there of, because she couldn't remember the questions that was asked. She couldn't remember anything. She couldn't remember if it was videotaped. She couldn't remember if there was any audio recording of it, nothing at all. And there are pictures of her sitting there with the arm cuff on her right arm, instead of her left, which is how you are supposed to do it. Because, it comes off of your heart. This is anatomy, human anatomy and physiology. I flunked that course in high school, just
Which
so
liberals
you know.
liberals don't believe in
Yeah,
that.
2 questions. Yeah. So it's on the left arm because it comes from the heart, and one of the main is right to that left arm. That's why wedding rings are actually on this finger. Why? Because the vein goes directly from your heart right to this finger right here. Not this finger, but this finger. That's why the wedding ring is worn on the left hand. I'm not married.
Oh, boy.
That was awesome.
The questions were, is any part of your statement false? Didn't indicate what statement. Didn't. Okay. Second question was, did you make up any part of your statement? So one question was asked twice.
Right.
In essence.
And here's the thing, though, too. My assumption is...
That's a town just up the road.
It is, yeah. My assumption is these are the 2 questions that was asked after the baseline questions were already asked.
Well, baseline questions have to be asked in order for a polygraph to work.
Exactly.
You have to have.
You would think. So,
Right.
but they don't put that in there, but even still, 2 questions that was asked, and you're really going to, but here's her recollection. The thing lasted hours. I have no idea how long, but it was forever. I told my entire life story, it seemed like. 2 questions. And that's assuming that's true. Obviously,
Right.
that's assuming that's true. So, very suspicious, if you ask me. Very suspicious. And then she was asked, and this is where I started to get a little pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked about the polygraph, who paid for it. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. What do you mean you don't remember? I don't remember. Okay. And then finally she was saved by her lawyers. Oh, we paid for it. As is common practice. And I'm sure it is. But here's the thing, though. It got paid for. See, because here's the thing. For anybody that's never been in any type of legal anything, whenever you have 2 lawyers sitting next to you, you have to pay for them.
Right.
That's called a retainer. And your retainer is only good up to and including any expenses that they have incurred at that time. So they paid for it, but them paying for it was already covered by the retainer that had already been paid. Who paid that retainer?
Oh, this is really weird. Can I read something real quick?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
This is from the Conservative Tribune, so you Democrats, if you're listening, aren't going to believe it. But bizarrely, the person conducting the polygraph, who was a third-party examiner and not a law enforcement official, had Ford scribble down her nearly 40-year-old memory of the drunken party and then asked her 2 vague questions. Those questions were, is any part of your statement false, and did you make up any part of your statement? He had her scribble down on a piece of paper her memory and then asked her about what she had just written. Have we seen that paper?
I'm actually not even sure as if that has been... I mean, I know it's been requested, the results of the polygraph, the questions that was asked and all that good stuff, but at least at the hearing itself, it didn't seem as though they had that yet. at least at the time.
She was asked if she believed her own handwritten statement.
Right.
Kavanaugh's name was never even brought up. It seems to me like they could have been a lot more thorough in this polygraph.
Right, right. But that's why none of that has been released. I mean, no specifics were quite. The only thing that she can say was, "I don't remember."
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
Apparently, they did get a copy of her handwritten statement, and nowhere in that written statement does the name Kavanaugh appear. And it directly contradicts different versions of the alleged event that she has also given. Her letter contradicts the letter that she sent Feinstein in August, pointed out Charles C. Cook, the editor of the National Review. Polygraph letter says 4 boys and a couple of girls were at the party. The letter to Feinstein says me and 4 others. It's just not matching, man.
Right, and she changed her story right there during the questioning. Whenever she was asked specifically about that, she changed her story in that she was like, "Oh, I apologize. I made a mistake. Let me go ahead and correct that." And yeah, so I mean, yeah, she doesn't have her facts straight. Now again, I'm trying to be nice and say that something tragic happened, but there's nothing to indicate that Kavanaugh had anything to do with this. So let's talk about Kavanaugh for a second. Mm-hmm. Okay? Let's get off her and let's go on Kavanaugh.
Okay.
Crap.
What's the matter?
Way too many things in the head. Swimming around up here, there's all kinds of squirrels running around. We call them Daves.
The man's professional image is untarnished. It's pristine.
Oh, yeah.
There is not a mark on him up until now.
Yeah. So, at the time, you have... He has a diary / calendar that he, and this, he states that this is something that his dad basically wanted him to do, and within this, he writes, what he was doing, where he was at, and who he was doing it with. Good thing he did this. During the entire month of August in 1982, he was gone for 2 weeks. He had extracurricular activities that he was doing. Things were going on. He went to 2 parties, of which case he was able to know where those parties were at and who he was with in those parties, of which case they were questioned, and this instance never happened. According to their sworn statement, this never happened.
But he likes beer, so he has to be a monster.
Oh, hey, cool. Yeah, exactly. He drinks beer, so
has to be a monster.
I have somebody in my Discord. It looks like that is pretty stinking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing where's. Oh, hey, cool. Restream chat has arrived. Very cool. I'm not seeing this person's chat on my Discord, though. That's weird.
Someone's asking for an invite code.
Yeah, actually, let me. How am I seeing him in Discord? But it's not. Give me a second. Where are you guys at?
A little bit of technical
we're
confusion.
having technical
not difficulty.
confession. Yeah,
but
not
confusion.
difficulty. This is definitely confusion here. Where is this? No, that's not it. That was not the right button.
Good thing you're not in charge of the nukes.
This is a very good thing I'm not in charge of the nukes. Maybe it's in here. Let's press that button.
He's got too many buttons as it is.
I don't know if that was the right button. That wasn't the right button.
I have trouble understanding how it all comes to light now. It's awfully convenient that these things materialize. They did the same thing when Trump was running.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like no one in the Republican Party can move towards another position without people coming out of the woodwork and throwing dirt on them.
I'm working on it, people in Discord.
Well, that goes back to, what Schumer said, that basically they're going to do anything and everything they can to stop it.
Let me read a couple of quotes real quick, if that's okay. Chuck Schumer said we should make clear that we will not tolerate any of Trump's nominees. Blumenthal said we will use every tool available to stop any Supreme Court nominee. Feinstein said we have a responsibility to prevent the confirmation of Trump's Supreme Court pick. And Tricky Dick Durbin said we must block whoever Trump nominates. Now, this is the important part, these three words, at all cost.
And that's the bottom line of this whole charade.
Mm-hmm.
At all cost. Yep.
It has nothing to do with Kavanaugh. It has nothing to do with Linda Ford.
They simply want to stop whoever the Republicans want to put in there. And I understand there's a lot to lose by having a primarily conservative Supreme Court for them. I get that.
Right.
I totally get that. Abortion, all the main hot button issues, they don't have their imbalance that they want. It's going to be an imbalance in the opposite direction, but Supreme Court judges are supposed to look at facts alone, and be completely impartial. Now, I know no person can be truly impartial on any subject. Everyone's got a little bit of bias, but these judges are taught and trained from the time they enter and exit law school and start working in the lower courts. They have to look at the facts. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle they're on.
That's one big thing a liberal hates is facts.
For sure.
So, they don't want somebody looking at the facts. They want, like you alluded to, they want somebody to go for their agenda.
Well, that's the thing. They're always talking about, they're always bringing up emotion. Well,
they're purely emotional creatures.
I just found these guys. Holy crap. Here we go. I'm assuming. They must be in the restream thing. What are you doing?
Now, by chance, did you get to see the picture of Christine Ford with Slick Willie's arm around her shoulders?
What are you doing?
Now, by chance, did you... what are you doing?
Sorry, we're good.
Did you see the picture?
Of which one?
Of Christine Blasey Ford with Slick Willie's arm around her?
No, I did not.
Let me show it to you. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
That's her and Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Before this ever took place, one of the things that she had to do was erase all of her political stuff on Twitter. Because they didn't want this to be a political thing.
They didn't want to look like... Obviously, it's a political thing. You'd have to be a complete idiot.
She didn't go to the police. She went to the Senate. It's a political attack.
Right.
Let's call it what it is. Let's call a spade a spade.
Political character assassination.
That's exactly what
blank.
This is. Political character assassination.
And basically, the Democrats have also said, too, that whenever they take control of Congress again, the first two things they're going to do, impeach Trump.
Thanks for that, Justin, by the way.
And then they're going to impeach Kavanaugh if he's confirmed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Justin puts in here, I got to read this, but they act like he alone is going to reverse all the laws, and it doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, come on, guys. Here's what it amounts to. And whenever, I don't even remember who said this. Oh, yeah, it was Kavanaugh. It's one of the things that he said, that they lost, that they thought they had 2016 in the bag.
Right.
According to every poll that they took, it was in the bag. They were going to win. They was not expecting, for these, for the people to come out as heavily as they did in favor of Donald Trump, because the people shouted very loudly in one voice, we don't want a politician. We're tired of the games, And he went in there and he started following through with his campaign promises, Yeah, gotta love stream elements. Yeah, it's good stuff. So, they shouted in one voice, and they were upset at the fact that they lost the White House, They lost the Senate. They lost the House of Representatives all in one foul swoop. They lost everything in one foul swoop.
And when that happens, have you ever lost a fight, Jared? I don't know if you've been in many, but I used to fight a lot when I was younger, okay? I fought a whole lot.
I've had my butt kicked a time or two.
Okay, well, I didn't lose much. But there's been a few times when I kind of did. And when someone's got you down on the ground, choking you out, you'll bite, you'll claw, you'll do anything you can to get out of that position. And that's exactly where they're at. There are no rules for them anymore. They are going to do, and Dick Durbin said it himself, at all costs.
They're rabid animals
That's
trapped in
it.
a corner.
They are trapped in a corner and trying to get their way out. And you can take the smallest chihuahua in the world, you back it into a corner, and it will chew your face off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there ain't no, you know, even, dude, the, what's that thing? The thing looks like a big oversized rat. Possum. Them things are fierce whenever you back them things into a corner.
Right.
You know.
When's the first break? Because my back teeth are floating.
You know, this is a good time. We're going to go ahead and take a small, little bitty break, guys. What the heck are we listening to?
More of your 70s porn music.
I don't think this is the 70s stuff. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be as soon as I get over to here and bring up the song. Oh, wait.
Straight to the right as you go out.
All right, guys, here we go. Woohoo! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Sorry about the little bit of dead air right there. I hate it whenever that happens.
You didn't. You didn't. I'll never forget whenever I was working at TJY, I belched on the air one night, and Sean got so mad. And now it's something normal, you know. I mean, you watch Howard Stern, they're farting into a microphone. But, yeah, he got all mad because I belched on air.
On the Machine Radio Show, holy crap, this was absolutely hilarious. Matt was, Brandon was, or Matt, I don't remember which one of them was talking. I do not remember. And this was prior to them starting the video aspect of it, okay? So this was only audio.
Right.
And this was classified as the fart heard around the world because that's what he did. You know, he's sitting there talking, and the next thing you know, Brandon, you know, and Matt did everything he could to hold it together and not laugh. And he's just, you know, that look on his face like, oh, don't you fart, don't you do that, you know? And I mean, it was absolutely hilarious. It was a great time. Oh man, it was great. All right.
Wow.
Whew.
So anyway,
Where are we at?
Well, let's see. We got anything extra to bring up on Kavanaugh?
Well, I think
we
we've
pretty well
been
covered it all.
beating this horse
Oh yeah,
since
I
it died.
Agree. I agree.
You know, and it's we can't really say a lot more than we've already said.
Right.
I've said it the last 3 nights.
Yeah, I know.
This is my 3rd radio show, 3 nights in a row here.
3 nights
and
in a row. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. There's not a lot that can be said. I don't take away from the fact that this woman was hurt, if in fact she was. I just think she's a little mixed up. And
Right.
in my personal opinion, even if it was Kavanaugh that was there, did it go down the way she remembers? There's been so many questions. I just don't think you can.
So much time has passed.
I just don't think you can block this guy from the job that he deserves for something that may or may not have happened 30-some-odd years ago.
Yes, right. Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Especially whenever you're talking, and this is the thing too. You have a record of a man who has been a champion of women's rights,
For sure.
advancing women in the workplace, and you have a mother that worked for him and sent her daughter to work with him too. Do you do that with somebody who is a serial rapist?
No,
Exactly.
not at all.
That right there to me spoke a lot. So let's move on to a different direction. Let's talk about the feminist movement.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing: for those of you that don't that only look at the history of Meow and don't really want to look at truth and actual history, whenever the feminist movement first got started, okay, it was, oh, you want equal rights? That's fine. That's perfectly okay. It doesn't come free. It comes with responsibility. So there is no equal rights without equal responsibility.
For sure.
That means you're now subject to the draft. Never mind, we changed our mind. A lot of feminists retracted that and didn't want anything to do with it.
I've got an idea. I think this would be a good idea for you.
What's that idea?
I think you should bring my old lady on one night. You've heard her views on this subject.
Oh, I'd love to. Amy?
To get a woman on here that kind of shares your views on feminism, that'd be a good piece, I think.
Yeah.
I really do.
Oh, she's more than welcome to come onto the show. That would be absolutely awesome, actually. But, you know, now here's the thing, though. Okay, I'm an old school man, all right?
Me too.
I'm chivalry, sure, okay? But here's my thing, okay? In the bedroom, not like that. In the bedroom, the man sleeps on a particular side of the bed, closest to the door.
Typically.
Whenever you're walking down the street, the man is closest to the street. It's not for any other reason than it is an honor. It is a aspect of respect, and it is our job, our role in the relationship and the marriage and the dynamics of things to be there to stand between our loved ones, our family, and potential danger.
For sure.
Call me a male chauvinist if you will.
There's
I don't
nothing
really care.
chauvinistic about that.
Exactly. You know, there's no man shaming that could be done here. I don't want rapists. I don't want women to go about and be victims. I don't want that whatsoever.
No.
So if you're going to come at me,
We're not Muslims.
Exactly. If you're going to come at me as mansplaining if you're going to come at me with all this other kind of crap, like I don't know the plight, and you know what? I don't have to worry about being sexually assaulted. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, you never know.
Hey,
But he did kick anorexia's ass.
Hell yes, I did. Bam, baby. I don't know. I don't eat much though. I really don't. I have not earned my fat kid status. I really haven't. It is. I'm so frustrated about that.
Are you excited about the new Chicago style pizza place we got in town? I actually am. Sorry.
Oh, is that the new place that's up on the square?
Well, it's one of them. It's not open yet. They are selling
okay.
pizza for the first time at Chili Fest next weekend, and you better believe I will be having a slice. They'll sell it by the slice or by the pizza. When we went to Chicago to see Def Leppard, Tesla, and REO 2 summers ago, I got to try real Chicago-style pie. I mean pie.
Oh, yeah. They call it pie. You don't call it pizza in Chicago.
My God.
It's a pie.
It's a religious experience.
I've heard that. I've never had
and
an
I hope
honest
this place
Chicago
is that
pie.
good. I really hope that place is that
I've not had that. But you know what? Now that you bring that up, I am excited to experience that.
Yeah.
I was working last night, and I had my second job, and we ordered pizza from Florenda's.
Good place. They got
And
good food.
He had that for the first time. And it's the stuffed crust, like that thick.
Oh, yeah.
And he ate 4 slices right in a row. He's like, "Oh my God, this is so good." And
Well, we have a place here.
Their pizza really gets me.
Yeah. Well, we also have a place in town that has nothing to do with pizza or Italian style anything that is a religious experience, too. Bill's Toasty.
Oh, yes, for sure. For sure. I mean, since 1930-something, I think
Since
they've been
as long
there.
as I can remember, that
Oh,
place
yeah.
has been there. On
Love me some Bills.
Yeah. And then you got Steak and Shake coming
Oh,
pretty soon.
I had a question on here. What's wrong with Mixer? For some reason, and we do not know why, through Restream.io, which is what I use to multicast onto the multiple platforms that I do at the same time, for some reason, there's some kind of communications error going on between Restream and Mixer. That's why things aren't really working quite as well. This is a problem that they do know about, and they are working on it. But for right now, Mixer's a little.
It's not just us. The machine couldn't stream the Mixer the other night either.
This is a Mixer with Restream problem, but they are working on it. They are aware of the problem, and hopefully, next time we go live next Thursday for the Machine Radio show, they have that fixed. So we are aware. Thank you for the question, because I didn't think to really plug that in and let you guys aware of it. So, thank you much. Appreciated.
What's that phone number if they want to call in?
Oh, phone number's not open right now. I haven't turned that on yet. You know what? What the hell?
You have it up on the screen, dude. Come on.
I do.
You can't put it on the screen and not.
You gotta.
People are going to be like, I'm
going
to call the Ho-Ho Show. What the hell?
The call-in number is 217-917-4405. Again, that number is
217-917-4405.
Call now. Operators are standing by.
And that's me.
Absolutely. We can be operators too.
Just out of morbid curiosity, and just because I like to check to make sure this stinking thing is actually working.
You going to call yourself
the way it's supposed to? A lot of times, that's the only way I can get it to actually ring and start working.
Hey, looky there, it works.
Working. Woohoo!
We are Skyped up. If anyone wants to call in, 217-917-4405.
International callers, you have to dial 1 first.
For sure.
Right on.
Normal text messaging rates apply, or something.
Or something like that. So,
come on, Ho. Break out of the fog, dude.
sorry, my thing just decided to do something weird on here, and I have no idea what it's doing.
My thing does weird things sometimes.
My thing does do weird things. It's got a mind of its own, man. I'll tell you what, it really does, too.
Man, listen. My old lady takes real good care of me. She sets a coffee pot for me at night. She packs my lunch. She does all the things a woman is, quote unquote, supposed to do. Okay? I quoted that. But she's the type of woman that believes that in some instances that's a woman's job. That's her role. You know, if a man goes out and works 8, 10, 12 hours a day and the woman doesn't work 8, 10, 12 hours a day, the woman should be the one to take care of the house and the kids and that kind of thing if the man is out earning a living. Am I wrong?
Right. No.
There's
not at
nothing
all.
sexist about that.
You know, and if the roles are reversed and it's the woman that's out working and the man that stays at home,
Then
he would be expected to do the same thing.
Exactly right.
Exactly, you know. And that's the thing, too, man. And here's the thing, okay? I was married. I was divorced, not getting into that. But here's the thing. Marriage is not 50-50. Divorce is 50-50 or 60-40 or
75-25.
Yeah, however good her lawyer is. Marriage is 100-100.
For sure.
You know, that's what it is. I mean, you got to give it your all.
It is a lot of work.
Exactly. It's work, you know. But, you know, back to feminism. You know, let's get back on feminism. Oh my God, I got to call on this one. Yes, you do got to call. Please call in. And still, I would like to have you on the show at some point in time. That would be awesome. Hey, who knows? Maybe we can do it next week.
Now remember, he keeps it kind of clean, babe. So, hey, we have a caller.
Ho Show, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello. Housekeeping.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on.
He messed up.
I did mess up. My apologies. Don't go anywhere.
Stay there.
Stay there. I'm having. Where are you at?
Taylorville.
No, not you.
He's going to figure it out.
Oh, are you kidding me?
You pushed the wrong button.
No, I didn't push the wrong button. The input is not even in here.
What? How can we hear it ring, but we can't hear him talk?
Okay, you know what? Let's. Okay, don't go anywhere. I will get this. Un momento, por favor.
Testicle.
I gotta bring. I hate that whenever that happens. Let's. You know what? No, we're not doing that. We're not. Let's do this. Let's go into settings, and let's do. Oh, I can't do that because that's going to completely screw up the entire thing. Okay, so. Well, no wonder why.
Aha, he found it.
I did find out. Well, she can hear me. I at least know that she can hear me. It's not going to let me do it. Okay, I'm going to have to let you go. Call back in. Give me a second. Okay.
There she went.
Give me a second. Let me get my...
Why didn't you have this working?
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry.
How many balls are you going to drop today? Let's take a drink in honor of Lindsey Graham's balls dropping while we're at it. Shall we?
To Lindsey.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We'll hope that's it.
So what do you think of that Flake guy?
You know, I understand what Flake's doing. I will say that. Flake, he's playing both sides of the fence somewhat. I mean, he did vote to confirm.
Okay, we're ready. Call back.
But he wanted the investigation.
Taking a drink in your honor.
You know, he basically said, you know what? You promise me you will do this investigation, and I will vote. I don't have a problem with that, because if Kavanaugh is guilty of this, you know, that's a problem. But I personally think that the FBI investigation is going to make him look better.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Oh, well, no wonder why. Yeah, okay.
Why?
Hold on a second.
Is she calling back?
All right, we're going to call you.
Oh, there we go.
I got the workaround. Oh, heck yes. Although it's going to come out as an unknown call.
Answer the phone, woman.
Hello?
This is Peggy's Bar and Grill. Did you order a pizza today?
Nope.
How you doing? You are on the
Not
air.
allowed. The little old lady ain't allowed to have the checkbook.
Oh, the truth comes out, sir. All right. So how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am amazing. Doing very, very well. So the topic of this portion of the conversation today is feminism. And Roger felt as though we would agree on a lot of these points in here. So,
well, my main point about this whole thing is, in my opinion, I feel that the feminism, the movement, the whole deal has made it seem like we're not allowed to be proud to be a housewife. We're not allowed to be proud to be a mom.
Right, yeah, because their
That
view is...
we should want to go out and taking care of our man. Well, who does that anymore? He should be taking care of you. Well, don't take my pride of doing my job at home away from me because you don't feel that you want to do it.
Well put.
Exactly, because you can only be a feminist and stand for feminist rights if you agree with how they want to remold and reshape the family structure. And you're absolutely right.
Right.
I mean, you're absolutely right. But one of the
Right.
directions
There's a lot of us out there that love it. We love what we do. We love being with our kids. We love taking care of our husbands, sending them a lunchbox on their way out the door with a kiss, a pat on the butt, and get out of here, And now we're made to feel that that's not acceptable, that we should fight for rights. Well, what rights do I want? I can vote. I can get a job if I want to.
You can
What
join
else
the
do I
military.
need?
You can do, yeah.
And that's the thing, too, that, there are differences between men and women. That's not sexist. That's just the way that we are wired. That's the way we are programmed. There is a difference between a Windows computer and an Apple computer. They're not the same.
No, not at all.
And they're, men and women are not the same. That's not to say that it's sexist.
No.
That's to say that there is a difference.
It's
there
fact.
On a general level, men are stronger than women, okay?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
generally.
Men are more physically fit than women in most cases. Now, nowadays, there are a lot of women who have gotten really, really fit, but on a basic primal level, traditionally, men are stronger than women. That's why men have usually been the ones to protect the family.
Right.
We are more built for that type of thing, in essence.
Right.
And why everything has been the way it's been for thousands of years. Why in the last 50 years do we have to change the basic structure of humanity? It makes no sense.
Well, and I see to a certain extent, women were not even allowed to voice their opinions about things.
And I disagree with that.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, I think we have come a long way from where we were, but they didn't find a good stopping point and leave it there. They just feel like they have to keep pressing and conquer the world and take over. There's no stopping. Mm-hmm. Once we got a voice and once we were able to do these things we were never allowed to do, why push it further?
Right.
And why shame the women who don't want to go further? I love that I can call this show and tell you guys and say, hey, I think you're wrong, or I think you're right. I have that right now.
Mm-hmm.
To where once upon a time they couldn't.
Right.
The women were, and they get in a lot of trouble for saying what they felt was true or
and
to be
that's
true.
still the case in Muslim countries. Women aren't allowed to have an opinion on anything.
Right.
They're
Right.
not even allowed to be in control of their own bodies.
And here's one of my things.
Right.
And this was one of the points that I was wanting to make when it comes with the feminist movement, because in a manner of speaking, and this is also an outsider looking in. This is me mansplaining. It seems to me as though feminists, women's lives matter, not to women's lives mattering. With the feminist movement, exactly like Black Lives matter to Black Lives Matter. That Chicago being a prime example of that. But if you really want to empower women, okay, and this is kind of going back to the whole rape thing with it, only 34% of rapes are actually get prosecuted because women feel that shame. They don't go forward immediately. They don't report it. They don't tell their friends. They don't go to the hospital. They don't go and get the rape kit done. And by the time they feel comfortable enough or they feel brave enough to do it, too much time has passed.
The
There's
evidence
absolutely
is
no
gone.
exactly. The evidence is gone and they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to make a movement on feminism, why don't you empower women to do just that?
Right.
Let's not tolerate rape.
Well, because here's...
Go ahead.
Well, and I agree with you. We should not tolerate rape. But here's the thing. The majority of the women that are assaulted are never actually raped. So then it comes down to a your word versus mine. And
Because
when
there's
it
a
comes
difference.
to, and like you guys, even with you guys probably, the majority of Republicans don't think that this woman was ever assaulted. I absolutely believe she was assaulted. Whether it was by him or not, the whole nother story. But I absolutely believe that she had been assaulted.
And I'm willing.
You can't act like that.
Yeah, and I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt on that. You know, I mean, there's some things that I think are
Yeah.
kind of sketchy, but even still, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, I look at her, you know, I watched her whenever she was up there. She was obviously distressed. She was obviously distraught, and she felt, you know, she looked as though she was going through something and she was struggling. You know, I mean, and it does. So, I mean, I'm at least willing to go, okay, maybe you was, but there's no evidence, there's no proof that Kavanaugh had anything to do with it, you know, and it could just as easily be a mistaken identity.
Yes, and that's the point. Well, I don't think it'd be a mistaken identity. I don't think that's a possibility. If you've ever been assaulted, you don't forget who assaulted you. I don't care if it's been 50 years.
Right,
you
exactly.
don't forget who they are, especially if you know their name. You don't forget it. Here's the thing, though. Women don't come forward because we don't get anywhere with it. We can't get a conviction over your word versus mine. And then it comes back to us as, well, you're just making this up because you're mad at him or something, you know, not important. We're shoved off so quickly as you don't have proof. You weren't actually raped. This wasn't a big deal. Go home and deal with it.
And like Clockwork put
So
in
women are not going to come forward.
Right. And like Clockwork put in here in the mixer chat, he goes, genders work best when they play to their strengths. And absolutely, you know, I mean, women and men have different strengths. And if you go outside of that, then you're just, you know, it just doesn't, you know, and that's the thing, you know, and you're somebody whom, you know, okay, before I go and do it like this, you know, so,
This has been happening to him all night.
yeah, this has been. Well, you know, too many things going on in the brain. You know how it is. You know me. You've met me more than once. You know, so, you know, you're somebody whom does, you know, you are able to spend more time at home with the kids and doing that. You know, do you feel satisfied with that? And are you happy with that decision because you feel as though your needs in that way are being met? Did I word that
Me
right?
personally, I do.
You personally.
I like being here with my kids, and I like being here with my husband, and I like being here with my house. I am perfectly happy with that.
Right.
Now, do I like having a job? I do. So I'm conflicted in that sense. But then society's also put me in a position where, since the women joined the workforce, can I have a one-income home? Most people can't.
Right, yeah.
Well, and part of that's
So-
financial.
Well, but even still,
Right.
what I'm getting at is, you know, if let's say you were a, you know, career, you know, a career woman with a job that you were working, you know, 18 hours a day, and you was unable to, you know, you didn't want to make that sacrifice of putting, you know, of having kids and not doing that, you know, do you think you would feel happy if you were a, you know, a career woman in the workforce, you know, working some 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be? Do you feel as though you would be satisfied emotionally, you know, within, you know, however the case may be? Do you think you would be satisfied doing that?
Me personally, no.
You personally,
because
yeah.
I did that. I was 27 when I had Vanna. My first child I had at 27 years old. So from the time I got out of high school, that's all I did was work. I didn't party. I wasn't that person, you know. I
Right.
spent my 20s working 16-hour shifts. So I did that. And I was not satisfied because you always felt that something was missing. You know, you watch all your kids have families, get married, have kids, and all I do is work.
The one thing I'll say,
It was not a gratifying.
the one thing I'll
Sorry,
say
yeah.
about this woman specifically, Ho, is she loves being at home. She loves taking care of the house. She loves doing those kinds of things. But when we got in a pickle, she went and got a job as a machinist, running a machining center 8-10 hours a day. You know, she's played both sides of that whole thing.
Right. And that's what I was getting at. You know, it's one of them things that, you know, she has that unique perspective to offer, as in she's done both sides. And it's a question of, okay, so which one do you feel more satisfied and happy doing that fulfills you? Yeah, yeah.
Me personally, my family
Yeah.
and my kids. I would spend my whole days walking around with them doing what they need to do, whether it was plays or band or choir, whatever they needed to do. That's where I was.
Right. And,
that's where I loved to be.
Yeah. And the feminist movement would say that, you can't do that, that's not a worthwhile place for you to be,
Well, they're saying that I need to stand up to my man and get out from underneath their thumb, and that's not the case. Because to the feminists, the women that choose to stay back with their family, we're weak, and we can't break away from our man's ruling. They don't understand it's a personal choice to not do that.
Ms. Vacker put something in here, and I'm going to go ahead and read that right quick over here in Facebook land. I do apologize I didn't see that earlier. It should be about choices. We just want to be able to make our own choices. I think some women have lost sight of that and are trying to dictate to other women the standards just as they were held to certain standards by men. We should be able to choose to stay home or not, and hope you understand what I'm saying. And I absolutely understand what you're saying, and you're right. That's kind of what the feminist movement has gone to. They're, it's one of the things they're changing to an aspect of you have to think what we think or you're not one of us. And if you're not one of us, then you're not a woman.
Like Amy just said, when they got to the point where the rights were equal, that's where they should have stopped. Now they're trying to take it to the same place that Democrats take everything, to emotion.
Exactly.
It's all based on emotion. They think that based on their pride and their, that's where, when it comes to laws and the Constitution, emotions have no place.
Right.
None.
Exactly.
It has to be based on facts and nothing else. I mean, this all comes down to the same thing that we were talking about with Kavanaugh. Keep the emotions out of it, base everything on facts, and life would be simple. But too many people can't do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and if you want to throw emotion to it and say, do it to be happy. Women need to do what they need to do to be happy.
Well, the pursuit of happiness is in the Constitution.
Yeah, and that's just a human thing. It's not a man thing. It's not a woman thing. As a person, you want to be happy. You want your children to be happy. You want your husband to be happy, and you want to be happy. And you make those choices to do those things. But that should not be separated into as a woman, you need to be happy. As a black man, you should be happy. It shouldn't be categorized. As a human being, we should be happy.
For sure.
Period.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Everyone's
I couldn't
so
agree
quick
more.
to categorize and label. The labels is what needs to go. We need to get rid of all the labels.
Oh, you're right.
I'm a woman, you're a
man.
man. So we have different views and opinions. Mm-hmm. And then we take it from a woman and man. Hell, we can't even say that anymore because we can't assume. I can't assume that you're a man. You can't assume that I'm a woman.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
And Deb, you're exactly right. It's gone too far the other way. There was a point where if they had stopped, this whole thing would have been perfect. But they just can't seem to leave well enough alone.
Yeah. Absolutely. I could not agree more.
Thanks for calling in, babe.
Yeah,
we
thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
we really
it.
do.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to folding my books. You guys have fun.
All right.
Love you, woman.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Yeah. I'm glad she called in. That was awesome.
It's a good perspective to get.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a real good perspective.
And
anybody else want to call in? It's 217-917-4405. The lines are open.
You're good at this.
Yeah, well.
All right, let's see here.
Justin, you got anything you want to say tonight? I know you're out there, bud. Pick up that telephone.
Oh, and I'm actually happy too. Restream's done a lot of work on their Restream chat. They've added some functionality into there. And prior, I was using the Restream downloaded thing that you can get on the computer, but I hadn't used the actual Restream chat thingy jigger that they got. That's the web page that it opens up, and I did it, and it actually connects everything. Mixers in here.
That's nice.
You
don't have to have 19 chat windows open.
PC will destroy us all. Yeah,
Right.
Justin threw that in there. That's awesome. That's cool. But yeah, I mean, it actually puts Facebook in there as well. And previously, Facebook wasn't doing that, but so now it is. So I'm liking that little extra functionality. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, see, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen, and it's not supposed to be the bottom. It's supposed to be the top. Okay, I got it. All right, we're good.
Are you looking at the chat backwards?
I was absolutely looking at the chat
It
backwards.
sounds to me like someone designed the chat backwards.
I definitely designed the chat back. You know what? I wonder if I can...
Invert it?
It should be able to. Whoa. Okay, let's full screen that again.
Push a few buttons. What's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Well, it's supposed to be.
Boom,
that
everything
way.
explodes.
Shush.
Blue screen of death.
BSOD.
Message alignment, bottom. Yep, nope, it's supposed to be like that. So, okay, now, there we go. Yay.
Was you able to invert?
I think so. Well, it shouldn't have been doing what it was doing anyway. Your settings versus... Yeah, whatever. Okay, bring that back. Bin screen it.
Yeah, I'm all for women having equal rights. I'm all for all human beings having equal rights, as long as they live and act like human beings.
Exactly, exactly. So let's... Hey, cool, it's an hour and a half already. Cool. All right, so we got one more... We're going to take a quick break. We got one more piece we're wanting to do. We're going to cover an article that I was actually told about at a party earlier today. A teacher that lost his job for doing what teachers did back when I went to school.
Hey, Eric, thanks for tuning in, by the way. I just wanted to put that out there.
You're good.
Just a couple minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Ho Ho Show, the real life Cartman on TV. That is epic. Ski guys, I'm going home. Talking poods where I draw the line. Beefcake, beefcake. Oh yeah, I had the stocking cap one year for Halloween because my friends forced me to wear this getup that made me look just like Cartman. In which case, I stayed in character all night, hat and all, beefcake, you know.
To clarify, a friend of mine texted me just now and said his wife came into the living room and said, "Oh my God, who is the real life Cartman on TV?"
That is epic. I love it. That rocks. That is so awesome.
Oh God,
You guys are awesome. That was great.
cheesy puffs.
Cheesy poops. Cheesy poops. No, kitty, it's my papa. No, kitty, no. All right, I'm done.
Oh, too much, too much. You even do the voice. That's horrible.
I do. It's
I know what you need to be for Halloween this year.
Harry Cartman. Uh-huh. All right, guys. So, oh, that was great.
It
All
was.
right.
You're going to talk about this teacher now?
Yeah, this teacher. Let's go ahead and bring this up. And there really wasn't much in the article that I read. I mean, it was more or less a, hey, I got fired, and this is why I got fired. Yay. And that's pretty much what it amounted to.
Yeah.
I mean, there really wasn't much to the article. So it looks like this took place in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but, I mean, hey, English is a first language. Come on, it sucks.
Yep.
But she put a note in here. This is a handwritten note that she apparently, put on the door or something. I don't know. Says, "Bye, kids. Mrs. This person loves you and wishes you the best in life. I have been fired for refusing to give you a 50% for not handing anything in." You see, the school had a policy, what was called a no zero policy as part of the No Student Left Behind. So for any student, they can't get anything less than a 50% on any assignment, no matter what.
Whether they do it or not, you're getting 50%.
Exactly. And in which case, back in the day when I went to school, if you didn't turn your homework in, that was a 0.
Oh, yeah.
I got lots of zeros.
I got lots of zeros too. I really did not apply myself whatsoever when I was in school. I did enough to get myself by, and to graduate, that was about the extent of it. I didn't apply myself at all.
Yeah.
I've had people ask me that, came across the Ho-Ho show and was like, how did this happen? You were the goofball in high school. What's going on here? So
This policy that this school has implemented, it falls under the same damn thing we've been talking about all night. Everyone gets a trophy bull crap that's going on.
Trophy, yep.
No. Some people are smarter than others. Some people are stronger than others. Some people are... We're not all the same. We're just not.
Right.
And that's okay. It's okay if you get a C average in high school and I get straight A's. That's cool. We don't have to be the same.
A while back ago, there was a teacher, and I'm assuming this was a college professor. I don't remember. But he was doing a social experiment on socialism.
Okay.
And this was you take every single score from every single person, you average it out, and that is the grade that everybody gets. An experiment on socialism, okay? So you're taking from those that do and work, and you're giving to those that don't do jack. As time progressed, fewer and fewer people actually did the work, making the grades go lower and lower to where at the end of the year, by the time the end of the year came around, you had 2 or 3 kids were the only ones that were actually doing anything. And needless to say, the entire class failed the class. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they actually understood the point of this, but...
You can't take away people's accountability for the things that need to be done in life. Once you take away the accountability, people won't put forth any effort at all because they know they don't need to.
Exactly. Right. If there's no reason to succeed,
why would you?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you? I got to give a shout out over here to Lily Price. She just jumped into the YouTube chat. She says, "Hey, I am Martin Bandy's daughter. Can you say hi?" Absolutely. Hi. How you doing today?
Hello.
Howdy.
Awesome. Shout out. But yeah, I mean, if there's no gold sticker for doing a good job. If nobody gets a gold medal anymore, why try? You know, why do that? You know,
You see that in the workplace.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And to go one step further, let's just talk about, government workers. Mm-hmm. Oh, well,
That's an oxymoron, but yes.
I'm getting my paycheck no matter what I do.
Yep.
So why
Exactly.
should I put forth that extra effort?
You know,
I won't get paid the same no matter what I
and
do.
truth be told, that's my problem with the unions.
Yeah.
Because that's what it allows people to do, is not do anything.
It's a bad
because-
case of NMJ, not my job. And that is, it has destroyed so much. I mean, if I work for a company, me and the listener, whoa, that's not good. What caused that?
Gravity.
Ouch. Listener Justin and I work together, okay? And
Sorry. Okay, I'm better now.
listener Justin and I work together, and it doesn't matter if it's my job or not. If he needs help with something, I'm going to help him. You know why? Because we're on the same ship together, and I don't want it to sink.
Right.
Exactly.
Just like our government.
Just like our government. And was that on your show?
It was.
Okay, I knew it was you that brought it up, but I wasn't exactly sure.
It's all the same,
and
man.
and I tell you what, that analogy that you said was just, it struck home. Why would you want to sink the ship?
Hey,
you're riding
See
in
the shirt?
Exactly.
Why? That's
Why?
my question to the Democrats in general. That's why I wore this shirt today.
You're in the ship. If it goes down, you're drowning too. Why?
Right.
I don't get it. I don't get their, oh my God, A++, probably talking about the Eric Cartman stuff. Anyway, I don't get it. I don't get their, their desire to destroy the whole thing. I really don't. I don't get it, know.
Me either.
You've heard this analogy before about the scorpion getting a ride on a turtle's back across the river.
Yeah, yeah, I have.
And
Because I'm a scorpion.
because it's in my nature.
It's in my nature. Yep.
Yep. Man, I want so bad for all of this nonsense, all of this bickering, all of this bipartisan bullshit. I'm going to say one cuss word. I just want it to go away, dude.
Oh, yeah. I had a conversation with somebody not that long ago, and he was a screaming liberal.
Okay.
But we dropped party politics. We put aside the labels, and we talked about the issues. And can you believe it that we actually agreed on every one of the issues? We may have disagreed on how these things should be done, but he was at least willing to agree with the issues and say yes. It's like, no. Let's bring guns into it. No, I would love for every single gun to be outlawed and not even be there. I would love for that to happen. But the fact of the matter is, we live in America, and that's part of the culture. You're not going to get rid of guns, but the only thing you can do is teach yourself how to use one and protect yourself. And that is our God-given, constitutionally protected right.
Absolutely.
To do that. But yes, I would love the utopia to exist where guns are not necessary, but
That's not going to happen.
We don't live there. You've got to acknowledge evil and where it exists, and the only way you can do that and properly defend yourself is through protecting yourself and arming yourself. But getting back off of that, it's...
Thanks, Eve, eating that damn apple. It caused all this, Damn women.
That was awesome.
Adam wasn't paying attention, though.
Obviously
Adam
not.
dropped
He
the
let
ball,
her get
too.
away.
He was
totally
right there.
dropped the ball.
And that's the thing. And I talked about this in the Religion Ho-Ho's way. I recommend you guys checking that out. You'll be offended. And I talked about creation in this very aspect. It's like, okay, who did the worse crime? Adam or Eve? Most people, looking at the surface of this, would say Eve did. She's the one that ate the apple. What about Adam? He was right there. He was right there going, you know what? I wonder if what he's saying is true. We'll just let her eat the apple.
She's a smartass.
It was delicious. Well played.
My wife just said it was delicious. Just saying.
Well played. Well played. That was awesome. But, it's like Adam was there. He was listening to this whole thing go down, and he chose to stand there, do nothing, and let's see how this plays out. You know, I had a buddy of mine. We went to the mall one time, you know, Tink. And we see him going after a Segway, you know, one of the, you know, mall cop, you know, Paul Blart mall cop Segways. And we're like, oh, no. Let's see how this plays out. That was Adam.
Yeah.
He's seen how this thing would play out. He did not do his job, protect his woman, and keep her out of harm's way. No, he let's see what happens. If she doesn't die, then I know I can eat the apple too, and in which case he did. Who had the greater crime? I'd almost go as far as to say that Adam is the one who committed the greater crime on that.
Yeah, you said your friend's name was Tink?
Tink, yeah.
Do you remember the runner, the black guy from, I can't remember what country, but it had the 2 fake legs? It was a really fast runner. He had the blades for legs.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
I remember seeing that.
I called him Tink Tink.
Tink, tink.
Think
Tink,
about
tink.
the sound those metal legs are going to make when you're running.
Tink, tink, tink. Yep.
I'm going to hell.
Let's Lily put in here, how do you feel about Trump being president? I'm a fan. Full disclosure.
We needed change.
We needed change. Full disclosure. I voted for Senator Ted Cruz in the primary. I did not vote for Trump in the presidential elections. And the fact of the matter is, he seemed to me like he was going to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. And the lesser of two evils, I can't do that. You know, I'm not going to back somebody whom I do not personally feel belongs sitting in that chair in the Oval Office. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils just to vote for somebody so somebody else doesn't get in. You're still voting for evil. I don't care how you look at it. That's what you're doing. So I didn't vote for him. And regardless of his political leanings, what he may or may not have did prior to going into there, they threatened him with impeachment 2 weeks after him getting in.
Yep.
Personally, I think they pissed him off to the point to where, oh yeah, hold my beer.
I hear you.
And he went in there and he started follow-throughing with every single campaign promise he made. He moved the embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. He's building the wall. Korea is at the table. He did not apologize. He said, we are America. We are the greatest nation in the world, and you will recognize. He's bringing honor back to America. He has grown the economy to 4.3 GDP. We have a highest participation rate since the 70s. We have the lowest amount of people on food stamps and welfare.
Lowest unemployment.
The minorities have never had it so good. The blacks have the highest labor participation in history. He did something that Obama was not able to do, put the blacks back in the workforce.
And he did all this with millions of people trying to drill holes in his boat.
And he did this alone. And he still, 2 years after the fact, still does not have a fully functional White House. There are still vacancies in his cabinet. And he was able to do all this. How do I feel about Trump being president? Oh, I'm a fan, honey.
For sure. Me too. Me too.
How do I feel about Bruce?
Now, that's what we need to talk about real quick before we end this, Jared.
Okay,
because
yeah.
you just said something that triggered something, not triggered like democratically triggered, but just triggered a thought in my mind. And this was a subject we talked about last night. I want to know what your plan is for the gubernatorial race in November. What are you going to do? The reason I ask that is because I personally, I can't vote for Pritzker. There's no way. I've seen the dude's policies. I can't do it. And at the same time, I'm not a fan of Rauner. And I'm sure there will be an independent on the ticket. And it may even be an independent I like. But I feel like I can't waste my vote on an independent and let Pritzker. I hate Pritzker more than I hate Rauner. It's a blatant case of lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
But I have to vote for Rauner just to help keep Pritzker out of the Capitol. What do you think?
And that's the thing, and I totally agree with you on that because let's face it, Clinton, he didn't win the election. He did by proxy.
Yep.
He did because the Republican vote was split between Ross Perot and the other guy. I don't even know who that was, but that's the only reason why he won. He didn't win he won by proxy. He won because the Republican, the Republican vote was split.
And that's what I'm scared of happening here in November.
And you know what? I can't say as if I, disagree with that fear because, it's kind of one of them things that the Democrats are going to capitalize while the Republicans try to win back their base. And I agree with you on that,
And let me say something real quick about Dylan Clark. I know a lot of people, he's running against Avery Bourne, and I voted for Avery Bourne in the last election, but Dylan Clark has some really good points, but Dylan Clark is a Madigan crony. Madigan is backing him. He is a Madigan crony, and I can't put my vote there. I just can't.
Right.
Because it's straight Illinois politics all over again. He's against term limits for getting these lifers like Madigan out of there. I personally can't vote for Dylan Clark for that very reason, just because he's one of Madigan's boys.
Right. And I've talked to the governor back in March, and me and a couple other people flat out told him that we're not happy with those couple choices you made. And the only thing he told the three of us was, I'm sorry. And that,
Now, does he mean sorry?
I'm in the same boat you're in, and I flat out told Bruce, I said, I'm not happy about this. There's an independent, Sam McCann, running. I know Sam. He's a great guy. Talked to him many times.
But he doesn't have the base to win.
He doesn't have the base to win, and the people that are going to vote for him are basically handing Pritzker a percentage point or whatever.
So you kind of see my side of this whole thing.
If I knew Sam would win or had a good chance to win, I'd back Sam all the way. But I can't do it because I'm the same as you. I don't want Pritzker in there.
I'm kind of like this, and granted, I understand and I agree with what you're saying, and I can't say as if you're wrong by doing that, But we have a big problem. We have a big problem in this country, and
I got to read that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to lose my thought process, but we have a problem in this country, and that is a two-party political system. Too many people are hell-bent on these labels that they don't really want to do. It's not about right and wrong. It's not about where you stand, your platform, this, that, and the other. It's about your party. And that's all it amounts to. And I don't like that.
I'm a fan of the issues.
Exactly.
Not the party. I'm not going to vote Republican just to say, my mom, she calls herself a Democrat because her parents were Democrats and their parents and so on and so forth. And she will vote Democrat just because it says Democrat. I can't do that. I just can't. My neighbor, he said that he thinks JB's a fraud. And I totally agree. And my neighbor is a left-leaning independent, and he said there's no way he would give JB his vote, Pritzker. And I totally agree with that. I'm for the issues specifically. Let me ask you something while we're still on that subject, right? Sure. When Rauner told you, I'm sorry, did you feel like he was telling you he was genuinely sorry for making the wrong choices, or do you think it was a sorry about your luck type of sorry?
I think it was a sorry, we disagree on this. And
I got you.
Sorry I hurt your feelings, or sorry that you feel this way.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. But we have a problem, and I'm one of them guys that is, it's like, yes, I would love to see term limits, but why do we need term limits? And, we should be voting for somebody else, not just voting a party.
Right.
And of which case, I got to be honest with you, I don't see the point of term limits. We need to stand up and do our due diligence and elect people who deserve our vote, not elect somebody because they have a big D or a little R in front of their name.
But that's impossible to do because you've got Chicago taking up the bulk of our vote.
Right. But that's also, and that kind of brings me to the point that I'm making, in order for us to win back our party, it's one of two things. Either one, if you can't find the change, be the change. Okay? If you're not seeing a candidate out there that supports and believes your views, then become the candidate you would vote for. Okay?
Well put. Well put.
And, there's all kinds of political people out there that, have that drive to do that, then do it. I'm not one of them people. I'm not a politician. I despise politics. I hate politics. And here I'm doing this, but I hate politics. It's about the game. It's not about right and wrong, and I hate it. I despise the game. I can't play the game because I can't do that compromise to reach across the aisle and say, no, I believe what I believe. I'll keep my mouth shut long enough for, whatever, and I can understand and sympathize with your position, but at the end of the day, no. I'm not voting for that because I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I couldn't do that. I can't do politics. But it's either a matter of win back your party or make the third party relevant. And really, that's the choice. And I kind of think that's where we're at. It's either take control of the Republican Party or make the third party relevant.
We are a selfish creature.
Yes.
Humans,
Absolutely.
And we need to do whatever we think we need to do, whatever's best for us, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. What did he say?
He said there are term limits in place. We vote every 2 to 4 years. It all falls on the voters. And absolutely,
very true.
And that's my point.
Very true.
Absolutely.
So why is it we can't seem to get Madigan out of there?
Because we are also creatures of habit.
I
Because
suppose
the people that vote for him in that little district up by Chicago, that's the only people he has to cater to. All the little handouts, all the little favors, all the little this and that.
See, that's my
He
problem.
just has to do favor. He just has to please that group.
I said this the other day. If you look at the state map from the election in 2016 for Trump, okay?
Yeah.
If you look at it by state, what color is Illinois? It's blue.
Yes.
If you look at the county map of Illinois, there are 3 counties that were blue, or 3 clumps of blue. The entire Chicago area, Champaign, and Peoria. The rest of this state was red. The biggest problem here is you've got such a population concentration in Chicago, and it always goes liberal.
Birds of a feather flock together. These guys are used to heavy-handed government that tells you what to do, when to do, and who you can do it with.
And gives you all your handouts.
Exactly.
Gives you your welfare.
But, down here in the rest of the state, what we got to fend for ourselves. It's about self-governance. We don't need a handout. We want to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and tie our shoes back on there and get back on the horse after we fall.
What do you do for 5-6 days a week, Jared?
I drive a truck.
You're right. You do. You manage a construction company, correct?
Yeah.
I'm an engineering technician in a factory. We work for a living. We're going to vote for whoever we feel is going to help us move further up the ladder, right?
And not take money out of my pocket to give it to somebody that is too damn lazy or unwilling to get a job
right
and earn for themselves.
Right. And an overwhelming majority of that area up there leans the other way. They want the welfare. They want the
handouts.
The handouts,
Yeah.
and we're not going to change that.
Exactly.
They're going to continue to vote that way, and they have the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen the movement, the Illinois separation movement. They're trying to somehow,
I would love to.
some miracle, get Cook County
I just pray to
separated from
God
us.
I'm south of that line.
I
Right.
don't want them to necessarily kick Chicago out of the state, but when it comes to the votes, I think it should be separated somehow.
What I would actually like to see, and we'll never see this because that would mean that the Democrats would lose power and they would never allow that to happen, is basically an electoral system in the state of Illinois.
Right.
That way my vote would be relevant again. Because right now it's not.
No, not at all.
Our
my
vote
votes
is
are
not
a waste.
my vote is a waste.
Yeah.
Oh, tell him hi back. That's awesome.
I think this is your boss's kid or someone you work with's kid,
I can't see from here.
Lily Price.
Martin Bandy's daughter. Dadgummit, I went on the wrong screen.
Someone works with her dad.
Yeah.
One of us, apparently.
Okay.
Martin Bandy. Yeah, Martin Bandy. Yeah. But totally lost my train of thought.
Electoral College in Illinois.
You've been doing that a lot.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I would like to see enacted in Illinois, and that is a electoral college type of system to where this way my vote is relevant. Because right now it's not, because of the population centers, Chicago,
Peoria, Champaign.
primarily, that, you know, those are the ones who choose for the rest of the state the direction, even though, dude, Chicago,
It's a completely different culture up there.
Exactly. Chicago has absolutely nothing to do with how I live my life.
None.
You know, it's a different world up there.
And I'm not knocking Chicago. We went to Chicago. We spent 4 or 5 days up there a couple years ago, went to a concert. I walked around downtown Chicago late at night. I wasn't scared. It's a great town. Best damn pizza I've ever had in my life. But it's a different culture. They live differently up there. Therefore, the policies up there need to be different from the policies down here.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Aha. Did you realize who it is now?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Wake up, dude.
Well, okay, it was the last name. I know a lot of bandies. I really do. Yeah.
He's having an off night. His
am.
brain's
My
not working.
brain is-
He needs Chicago-style pizza or something
I
to
need
bring him
something.
out of this coma.
So how is Barney doing?
Oh.
Purple hair, yeah.
Gotcha.
Barney, yeah. I apologize. That took me way too long to figure out. See, I call him something different. You know, it's like it is. You know, I call him McFly too because Marty McFly. You know,
He's having an off night.
You know,
That's
I am.
cool.
I apologize. Yeah. You can slap me later. You can. Yeah, we're good. Anyway, by the way, hi. Now that
I want to
know
say
who
one
you
more
are.
time. Remember, everybody, next Sunday night, a week from tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, actually, 2:00, Rockaholic at Chili Fest. Be there. It's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Stop on by, guys. It's a good time, dude. Chili Fest has been a Taylorville tradition for as long as I can remember.
Oh, yeah, a long time.
You know,
I
it's
remember the
been-
first one. I think it was the first one. It was the first one I went to, and for some reason I feel like it was the first one. I'm not sure how many years running it is, but we'll have our booth up there.
That'd be a good thing for me to find out.
My wife paints faces up there every year.
Yes, yes.
She has a good time with that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do in my half of the booth this year. Last year and the year before, I sold T-shirts and vinyl decals. I may do that again. I may do something completely different. We're going to see what happens. But make sure if you're from around here, you bring your butt to Chili Fest. It's a good time.
And it is a family-friendly event.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
for sure.
the whole family's welcome. It's a good time, dude. You're half a block away from this whole thing takes place around the county courthouse. You're half a block away from the Taterville Police. You're half a block away from the
Bill's Toasty.
Cushing County Police, and you're right there at Bill's Toasty too. And it is a Taterville tradition, so it is a really good time. You know, there's pony rides. There's
The
there's
little
all kinds
train
of-
that rides around the
Yeah,
square with the
little train.
lawnmower that pulls it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a good time. They've got a lot of different shows up there, and
And that Chicago-style deep dish place is going to be selling pizza for the first time. They're debuting at Chili Fest. So
Oh,
I will be
kick-ass.
stuffing my face full of some Chicago-style pizza.
oh yeah, I'll definitely be up there.
I'll be there.
Weaponized Sloth will be represented up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
in
We
Chili
definitely,
Fest.
we'll all be up there.
Oh, yeah.
The entire organization will be up there.
Yeah, get your face painted. Absolutely. Amy. Yeah, so it'll be a good
No,
time.
she's talking to you. You need to get
Oh,
your
I got to
face
get
painted.
my face painted. Well, how are you going to paint it?
And you need to do a live remote with your face painted from Chili Fest.
Maybe shave off the goatee and let her paint your face then.
No.
No, she can incorporate that. We'll make him a goat or something.
Ooh, yeah.
She can incorporate
Bah.
something in there. Yeah, there you go. See?
I can do goat.
I bet you can.
Oh yeah, awesome. Well, actually, we've been doing this for a couple hours, and I think we're
It's
pretty
about
well,
that time, I think, isn't it?
It's pretty well that time. So
It's been a good show. I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody tuning in. It's
yeah, that
been-
was awesome. Good conversation from everybody. That
oh,
was
yeah,
very,
some
very
good
awesome.
points.
Great participation.
A different view from my neighbor. I mean, he said he's a left-leaning independent. We don't get a whole lot of that on the show, and we did this time. It's nice having that other view, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I got to bring this up.
Okay.
There's been some awesome stuff taking place with Weaponized Sloth Productions. And we've got some stuff, and thank you very much, Justin. I'm glad you liked the show. But we've got some stuff in the works that we're looking at doing, and it's going to be a great time. Stream, basically an internet streaming channel that is going to incorporate every member, every show of Weaponized Sloth Productions, a 24/7 stream. We're looking at getting that started come the first of the year. There's still some things I got to get figured out, some details we're working on. We're talking to some people on getting this started, getting this going, and getting it launched. But this is going to be a thing, and I'm super excited about the whole thing. So this is going to be awesome. This is huge.
The way I look at it, we've got 3 separate shows, right? 3. I'm just going to hold my hand like this. 4 separate shows.
4.
Oh, Matt's got a show too.
Soon to be 5, and who knows anymore.
What we're trying to do right now is kind of squish those together into something awesome. Am I wrong?
That's exactly what we're doing.
And I want to start doing some live remote stuff, some interview stuff, get a little more out there. And even if we're just doing that as pre-recorded video and incorporating it in our shows, or if we can actually do live remotes at a different time than our scheduled times,
right?
We could make this a big deal.
Absolutely. There's so many possibilities, that so many things that we can do with this, so many possibilities, and it's one of them things that, just pooling the entire audience of all of our shows together and just, not as a making money type of a thing.
Not at all. This isn't about money.
No, but because we ain't making anything off of this right now.
We have jobs. We make money with jobs.
Yeah. So but the possibilities on this are it's awesome. It's going to be a great time, and I am
for sure.
I'm so excited about this, about the direction, because it's like, dude, and this was me listening to another podcaster who had an awesome, amazing opportunity come his way. Alex Exum of the Exum Experience and Live Talk. Check it out Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central. Figured I'd give him a plug since he is, he's one of the people that's helped me get this whole thing going. So an opportunity that came his way that I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I'm wanting to do. So it was like, we already have this going with content creators. Let's make a go of it. And that's just pretty much what it amounted to. So I'm like, dude, yeah, let's so I started making phone calls. So actually I first started making emails, and then I terrified myself on the phone call, which was hilarious. But yeah, so we got some awesome stuff coming, and this is going to be also including a downloadable app available on the Google Play Store when this finally happens. But yeah, so I thank you guys very much for stopping by. Thank you guys for stopping by.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Awesome,
good time.
Awesome show. I do appreciate it. So you guys have yourself a wonderful evening. Good night. Sleep tight.
Later, y'all.
And if the bed bugs bite them, by golly, bite them back.
Bite them back.
That's right.
We're out.
See you.
Bye.